update on the Moscow murders and what has been discovered and what is still a mystery.
And commencement is just days away. We'll tell you everything you need to know about Saturday's big day. Those stories and more all coming to you right now on Murrow News.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Monson.
And I'm Albert James. Thanks so much for joining us for Murrow News 8.
There's an update on the murder investigation of Ethan, Xana, Madison, and Kaylee. Detectives are interested in speaking with the owners/occupants of a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. The license plate is unknown, but they say it could be a significant piece of the investigation. The tip line you can call with any information pertaining to the case is 208-883-7180, or email the tip line at tipline@ci.moscow.id.us. On November 13th, the 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in their home. No suspect has yet been identified. Vigils took place on November 30th across the state of Idaho as well as parts of eastern Washington. The Kibbe Dome held one as well as the town of Ketchum. There are certain belongings that are being given back to the families of the victims, but the effort for them to be retrieved could go into Thursday. Moscow Police Chief James Fry and other members of the Moscow PD will begin collecting the belongings today, as they are no longer needed for the investigation.
In other news, legislators representing the Pullman area stopped by WSU yesterday to talk about the upcoming legislative session. State Senator Mark Schessler and Representative Mary Dye came to the Foley Institute and talked with students about climate change, substance abuse, and trying to find common ground across the aisle. As Republicans, they will find themselves as ranking members on committees in the Democratic-controlled House and Senate. The 2023 legislative session starts on January 9th at the state capitol in Olympia.
The 19-year-old WSU student who was arrested on suspicion of a hit-and-run DUI now has a trial date. Carmen E. Fernandez hit 2 students on November 12th by the Grove Apartments and was arrested for felony, vehicular assault, hit-and-run, and a DUI. She was released on November 15th and is now awaiting a trial that will be held on February 13th. She pled not guilty to her charges on arraignment court hearing on November 18th. Graduation's in a couple days, and things are starting to get real busy up here in Pullman. We sent Jonah Oakleaf to go down and take a look at what's going on.
Thank you, Aaron. This Saturday from 10 to 12, the commencement ceremony is happening right here in Beasley Coliseum. I'm with Russ Driver, Beasley Coliseum Director. Now, Russ, what are some things, common mistakes that attendees make, and what is some advice that you have in order to make this weekend go smoothly?
I'm always amazed at how many people show up late, and not just a couple minutes late. I mean, like a half hour late, whether they're actually graduating or if they're in the crowd. It's just amazing, and kids come in who have been drinking, and that, I think, is a huge mistake because it's a big day. It's an important day.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you so much, Russ. Let's go back to Albert James at the desk. Jonah Oakleaf, Murrow News 8.
And speaking of graduation, Carson College of Business online graduates are moving on up. POA and Kawance, a publication covering business schools, just ranked the Carson College's online MBA program as the 19th best in the country. According to Pullman Radio News, Carson was ranked at number 25 last year. The rankings are calculated by the quality of MBA students and alumni feedback.
The Pullman PD is accepting applications for an upcoming Pullman Police Citizen Academy. Starting on February 2nd of next year, it's an 11-week program that will provide an overview of the Pullman PD, which include presentations by subject matter experts, practical exercises, and facility tours. Applications are due on the pullman.wa.gov website by December 31st. Coming up, we are welcoming a special alumnus into the hall.
And this is our stop for now. Will it stay that way? We'll find out what the rest of the week holds for us with Alex Murrow. And welcome back. WSU's 31st annual holiday book fair wrapped up this afternoon. The event at the Terrell Library featured books published by the university with stories covering a wide variety from a picture-perfect account of Western Oregon to the 1859 pig war crisis in the San Juan Islands. If you missed the fair, not to worry. You can still get discounts on books ordered online or over the phone now through Sunday.
Cindy Brunson, a Murrow College alumnus, is being elected into the Murrow College Hall of Honor here at WSU coming up in April. Attending WSU during her college career, Brunson became the first woman of color to be the primary voice for a pro league earlier this year. She worked with ESPN, the Pac-12 Network, and the WNBA in her impressive career. We welcome her into the Hall of Achievements here at WSU. Congratulations, Cindy.
Absolutely a well-deserved honor. She came here and talked to us earlier. Very nice and helpful.
Very much so.
Speaking of, there was definitely some sunshine and a little bit of cold weather on my walk into class, Alex. Can we expect more sun on the horizon?
Unfortunately, the answer to that question is no. We aren't expecting much sun in the next couple of days. In fact, we're expecting a little bit of snow, so lots of cold. Now, like I said, we have a high of 33 today and a low of 16. We had a lot of that daylight, a lot of good sunlight, but unfortunately, tomorrow we're expecting some snow. We have about an 80% chance of that precipitation. Now, if you're worried about that, you need to calm down because we're only expecting about 1 to 3 inches of accumulation, and we have a high of 33 tomorrow and a low of 22. Now, looking over at the state map, over on the west side, the conditions are a little bit treacherous. We have rain in Seattle and Olympia. They are familiar with that weather all too well. What I really want to focus on is Snoqualmie Pass with the families and friends driving over for graduation weekend. We have about a 70% chance of rain and snow on Friday, so make sure you're driving safely. Now, in Tri-Cities and Yakima, they don't have much of a lavender haze, but they do have freezing fog, highs in the 20s and lows in the low 20s. Now, Spokane has very similar conditions to Pullman, except they have a little bit more cloud cover than we do. Now, looking ahead at the 5-day forecast, again, like I said, more of that snow. We have snow Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have about a 80% chance of that snow tomorrow and 20% chance on Friday and 70% chance on Saturday. So again, drive safe on graduation day. We aren't going to see that snow clear up until Monday. We have a high of 28 on Monday and just some cloud cover. Now, another thing I do want to touch on is the traffic collision at Kittitas on I-90. There was about a 30-car collision, 18 regular vehicles and 12 semi-trucks, and it happened early this morning, and the traffic people did not get that cleared up till about 3:30 this afternoon, but that road is open now. That's all I have. Back to Albert and Aaron.
Thank you, Alex. Coming up, both men's and women's basketball teams go at it tonight. Don't miss out.
And are there more football players ready to leave P-Town? Your sports with Daniela Julio Cano is coming up next.
On Sunday, the WSU's men's basketball team faced Utah. The Cougs went to overtime and took a 67-65 loss against the Utes. A dunk by TJ Mamba gave WSU a 58-52 lead with 2:56 remaining in regulation. Justin Powell gave the Cougs one free throw for a 59-56 lead with 14 seconds remaining, but the Utes scored in the paint, drew a foul, sending the game into overtime. Washington State did not score again until Powell's three-pointer with 2:07 remaining in overtime. His three drew the Cougs within 65-62, with our very own DJ Rodman tying it at 65 after making 3 free throws. With 30 seconds left, but the Utes ended up taking the lead and the win. The men's team faces Northern Kentucky today at Beasley at 6 p.m., so make sure you don't miss out. The transfer portal has opened, and as of now, 7 WSU football players have entered the portal. Take a look at your screen. Dayon Stribling, the Cougs' top receiver this past year, finished with 51 receptions for 602 yards and 5 touchdowns. Donovan Ollie, a redshirt sophomore, finished third on the team with 43 receptions for 491 yards and 3 touchdowns. Eric Wilder, a redshirt this year, did not appear in any games. Adrian Shepard appeared in 6 games this past season as a backup safety and tallied 4 tackles. Gabriel Lopez, an edge runner, appeared in 11 games in his career. Gavin Berthel appeared in 5 games this past season, and Justin Lorenz, another edge rusher, has not been with the team all season. They will join 3 other WSU players that have announced their decision to transfer. On Tuesday, WSU linebacker Deion Henley was picked the Pac-12 All-Conference First Team. He was also named to the second team as an all-purpose special teams player, which he was shown why he deserves it after making an impact on special teams, catching a 4th down pass from Herbert for 36 yards in the Apple Cup. And with his 6 special teams tackles being a team high, he is the first Cougar linebacker to earn the first team honors since Will Darrington in 2003. Your Washington State women's basketball team hits the road for a 2-game road trip. The first stop will be in Portland, Oregon today. They will face the Pilots at 6 p.m. tonight. The Cougs and Pilots have faced each other 8 times, the last time being in 2010. Of course, a lot has changed as the women's team is currently on fire with a 3 straight winning streak. Charlize Ledger-Walker will look to extend her double-digit scoring streak to 9 games. Ledger-Walker has scored at least 10 points in every game for WSU. Then, on Sunday, they will face our longtime rival, Washington, in Seattle at 6 p.m.
Thank you, Danny. Coming up, it's Dead Week, and we'll give you some tips to help you get through the week.
Stick with us. We'll be right back.
So guys, it's Dead Week, and next week is finals. So I want to know some of your guys' best tips and tricks to deal with that stress for finals.
Honest study tips. I would say never stay up late to study for an exam. Only stay up to finish the project because you're supposed to study for the classroom. I mean, get some sleep. I didn't get any sleep.
I got about 3 hours last night. Get some sleep. I mean, that's a way to do it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you missed any of this, these guys you can watch on our YouTube channel.